Hey everyone, my name is Priscilla F. Allett, and I am doing a video today about rock identification for my GENV 121 class, lab number 3. So what we had to do is we had to go out and find 2 rocks out in nature and then go through a 7-step process of color and size, crystals, class composition, stratification, fossilization, and foliation to figure out if they were metamorphic, igneous, or sedimentary. So where I found these rocks, I'm a student at Trinity Western University, and I went out to the forest, but if anyone's from BC, they know that it was snowing this week, and so it was really hard to find rocks just like right in the forest in the mud. So when I was walking back, I saw a big pile of rocks outside of the buildings. And so I went through them. Outside, it's like still in the nature. They're not man-made at all. But I found 2 rocks that appear to the eye to be different types of rocks. And my guesses upon seeing them was that this one might be igneous and this one might be sedimentary or metamorphic. But we're about to jump into the video and figure that out for sure, based off my assumptions. I'm going to be putting the waypoint of where I found it right here on the screen right now, so that you can see. Now let's dive right into the identification of rock number 1. So, starting off with color, rock number 1 is a light gray to off-white shade with some faint brownish streaks going through the entire rock. The color is very uniform across the entire surface, which is often seen in certain types of sedimentary or metamorphic rocks, which is what my assumption was upon grabbing it. The size is about as large of a really large egg, or also it fits perfectly in my palm, but I am going to measure it and put the measurements right here beside my head so that you guys can know the exact measurements. And it kind of has if we were talking about shape, it kind of has a rounded shape, suggesting it might be naturally shaped by water or wind erosion over time. The class composition, is there class composition? It doesn't seem so. There doesn't seem to be any holes between the particles and minerals, suggesting that maybe it's more metamorphic than sedimentary, because sedimentary rocks typically have sedimentary rocks typically have class composition. It's my thoughts on class composition. So I just have my notes behind me that I took, my little observations, key points. So crystals, there doesn't seem to be any crystals in this rock either, taking out the assumption that it could be igneous. As you can see, there's no sparkly, or crystals that are visible to the eye, sorry. So you can't see any sparkly areas, and because it's very smooth, all together, there's no crystals. It's a very fine grain and smooth texture, which leans more towards sedimentary or metamorphic, but no class composition. So we're thinking a little bit more metamorphic at this moment. Fossilization, there's no imprints of any fossils in here. There doesn't seem to be any fossilization. That's just my observation on that. And then foliation, there's no folds in this rock. It's very smooth. There doesn't appear to be any folds or any lines for that matter for stratification. There's no signs of layering. Typically in metamorphic rocks we can see some layering, but it doesn't really seem to have any. So that could just mean that it was compressed with heat and pressure, a lot of heat and pressure to really make it smooth. Stratification, I don't see any stratification or distinct layerings. As I just said, uniformity suggests it might have undergone some metamorphic processes or could be very, very fine-grained sedimentary rock. So my conclusion for rock number 1, after going through all these steps, my best guess is that rock number 1 is quartzite, a metamorphic rock. I'm guessing it's metamorphic. typically metamorphic rocks do have foliation, but there are non-foliated rocks, which is what this metamorphic rock is. The reason for this is that it's quartzite, which is a pretty common rock, which is why I knew it. I don't know, it's like one of the most common rocks here in BC, and it's primarily composed of quartz, and so when it goes under like heat and pressure, it just kind of like blends together to create like this like smooth and like non-banded presence that's like just like really hard. But yeah, so jumping into our second rock here, we have rock number 2. Clearly you can see right off the bat it will not be metamorphic, sedimentary. But yeah, I'm gonna go through the entire process here. So it's a little bit dirty, but whatever. So as you can see, you can't really see in this lighting, but if you go more into the sun, you would definitely be able to see. Maybe I'll put a picture, I don't know. Oh, you can kind of see right here. But there are little crystals in this rock that are very visible to the eye, which right off the bat might suggest that it's igneous, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So first I'm just gonna say like the color is black and white, and gray. There's black speckles that create a combination of like different colors, which is pretty common to igneous rocks. The size is smaller than the last one, as you can see, but pretty much like the size of a regular egg, I would say. And again, I'm going to put the actual measurements right here on the side of my head. So yeah, unlike rock number 1, it's very textured. But for class composition, there is no class composition, as you can see. There is no pattern to what's going on here. It's all over the place. It's not smooth, it's not regular. It's definitely, there's no pattern. So for the crystals, I've already said, you can see like there's some like speckles. I can really see it with my eye. I don't know why you can't see it here. I'm gonna just move into the light with you right over here, just so that you can see maybe a little bit better. My blinds are a little bit weird, but I don't know if that's helping. I was trying to be helpful here, but there's just like some sparkles going on. I really don't know if that helped, but we will continue either way. The very visible crystals definitely suggest it's igneous because, well, you wouldn't have visible crystals to the eyes for metamorphic or sedimentary. So for fossilization, not surprising, there is no fossilization in this rock. I've only ever really seen one rock with fossilization. I think it was at a museum. But yeah, as you can see, no fossilization. For foliation, there's no folds in this rock. That's more common to like metamorphic. Like, there are like some texture, but that's not a fold. There's no like layering. It's not uniform. So yeah, for stratification, there's also like no stratification that's visible to the eye. It's not surprising. I'm really thinking it's igneous. I've been thinking it's igneous from the beginning, and igneous is typically just more like crystallization that we kind of see. So in conclusion, based on these observations, rock number 2 is almost certainly granite, a very, very common rock in the area, and I would say igneous. I know it's granite. I kind of know what granite looks like, just like how I knew what quartzite looked like. But yeah, so this is just like very obvious because of the roughness of it, and like the rough texture, the coloring, and just like the crystallization. So just like recap, in summary, rock number 1 appears to be a metamorphic rock, and rock number 2 appears to be an igneous rock. So by using these 7 steps of rock identification, I was able to really verify my initial observations by the eye. So the 7 key observations or identifications, can be 6, because color and size usually just like get put together, but color, size, class composition, crystal presence, fossilization, and foliation, as well as stratification. So we can better understand rocks and how they form and where they came from by using these 7 steps. And then you can identify them and figure out, like what their process of existence is. So thank you so much for listening. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm not the best videographer, so this isn't gonna be like the coolest video, but I really, I enjoyed this. I do have to say, like, I did know what these rocks were, but I did learn a lot in this process of just understanding maybe like what separated them and made them unique from one another. So I can be more aware of our Earth. So thank you so much, and I'll probably see you next time.